So what is taking Judge Benitez so long to make his decisions? This is probably the #1 question that I've been getting every single day. So in this video, we're going to talk about my opinions on why it's taking so long. So let's talk about this. But real quick, before we jump into this video, if you're excited for the Judge Benitez decision smacking down California's assault weapon ban and magazine ban, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also want to thank the sponsor of this channel, which is Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee makes amazing coffee and they're huge Second Amendment supporters. I highly recommend Blackout Coffee, and if you order using the code ARMSCHOLAR, you can get 10% off of your order. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, I'm going to try to answer one of the biggest questions that a lot of gun owners right now have been asking me, and frankly, a lot of California gun owners have been flooding my comment section and inbox about, and that is, what is taking Judge Benitez so long? What, in my opinion, is going on? Now, for those not aware, these cases that we're talking about are the Miller v. Bonta, the Duncan v. Bonta, and the Rody v. Bonta cases. These are challenges to the state's ban on so-called large capacity magazines, their ban on so-called assault weapons, and then also their ammunition purchase restrictions. These cases currently have been fully briefed since February, and now we are simply waiting for a decision by Judge Benitez. Now, I'm not going to go through all the procedural history of all three of these cases. If you want that information, you can watch some of my prior videos where I break all of that down. But what you need to know for this specific video is that these cases have already made their way up prior to the Ninth Circuit, and that was after previous decisions by Judge Benitez when he originally ruled in the magazine ban case, the assault weapon ban case, and then also the ammunition restriction case. And in all those cases, he found that those restrictions were in fact unconstitutional. After the Supreme Court issued their decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, these cases were then remanded back down to Judge Benitez for him to reconsider, to reanalyze all these cases using that Bruin decision. One of the primary reasons for the remand of all these cases was first, in my opinion, that the Ninth Circuit simply did not want to address this issue, especially soon after Bruin. So they decided to kick the can down the road and to send these back to Judge Benitez. But also, one of the primary reasons also is because of the Ninth Circuit's prior use of the two-step approach. The Ninth Circuit had prior used an analysis known as the two-step approach, which was struck down by the Bruin decision. And based on that opinion and based on these cases pending in the Ninth Circuit, they were then sent back down to Judge Benitez to kind of restart from square one, because there was already some analysis, some history in these cases already. So they restarted in some ways. And at the beginning of December, all three of these cases, and also the Foudis case, which is the Billy Club case in the state of California, all these cases had hearings before Judge Benitez. What ended up happening at that hearing was that Judge Benitez gave the state of California 30 days to present a spreadsheet of enacted laws and regulations which relate to these cases at hand. Then the plaintiffs in all these cases were given 30 days to rebut those examples on the spreadsheet. After that, both parties were given 10 days. Both sides were able to file replies to that spreadsheet and the rebuttals. So essentially, all these cases remained in a holding pattern after December for 70 days. Now, the last real activity we had in these cases was when the state of California submitted the 11th Circuit decision to Judge Benitez, and they submitted it as support, as supplemental authority for why he should rule in their favor. But essentially, since that supplemental authority was submitted by the state of California, there's been pretty much crickets in all three of these cases, Miller, Duncan, and Rody, and that has led to pretty much thousands of you guys asking me what is going on. And a lot of you have been asking me specific questions about why you believe this is happening. Now, the first one I want to address is some of the questions about whether or not the alleged misconduct and the investigation into the alleged misconduct of Judge Benitez could be the reason for the delay in these cases. I know some of you are concerned or maybe have the impression that investigation, that the alleged misconduct may be stopping him from issuing his rulings. In my opinion, that's not the case. I don't think that's what's happening. My understanding is that even if a disciplinary action were to happen, it wouldn't strip him of his current cases. At the very least, he would still get to issue his judgments on the current cases on his docket. So in my opinion, I don't think the disciplinary action is what's causing the delay. Now, you may be asking what my opinion is then. Well, I think the biggest reason for the delay is because he has multiple cases in front of him that are very high profile. They are important cases, and they are all interconnected in some way. And also, there's a lot of work that needs to be done because of the Bruin decision. Now, I know some of you are under the impression that he simply just needs to copy and paste his prior decisions in the Miller case, the Duncan case and the Rhodey case, and then simply just apply it to his new decisions. In some regards, that's true, but not really. Well, you have to keep in mind his prior decisions in all of those cases were not at their foundation a Bruin analysis. He had to use the precedent in the Ninth Circuit. And the precedent in the Ninth Circuit was the two-step approach and then also tier-based scrutiny. And what that led to in these prior decisions was, yes, he still did a historical analysis. He still looked at Heller. He did the historical analysis. And again, that made the state of California and the Ninth Circuit very angry. But at its core, he was still using the Ninth Circuit's two-step approach. So now under Bruin, what he's having to do is go back and use the Bruin framework, which is text, history, and tradition. This is a channel shirt. You can pick it up using the link down below, but text, history, and tradition is the appropriate type of analysis now. So he's having to relook at these cases using that analysis. And also he's using the Heller decision. So what's happening in these cases, and what I suspect when we get the decision, we will see a very thorough opinion. And it's probably going to be very long because, again, he has to address all the historical support that was submitted by the state of California. And the state of California submitted an entire spreadsheet of all the analogs of all the historical support that they claimed justify these bans. So in the decision, we will likely see him first address these bans under Heller, looking at whether or not these firearms are in common use for lawful purposes. And likely what he's going to conclude is, yes, they are. He found that prior. And then he's going to say, well, a categorical ban, an outright ban on so-called assault weapons, on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds is obviously unconstitutional. But then he's also going to have to move and likely go under Bruin, look at the justification under Bruin, address all the historical analysis. And so it's going to be a very, very thorough opinion. Now, what I'm referencing here, why I believe that's the case, is because all you have to do is look at some of these other recent decisions in other district courts in other areas. For example, the New York Antioch preliminary injunction. In that decision, there was a over, I believe, 200-page decision issued by the judge. And then also recently, we got the Illinois assault weapon ban decision out of a district court. And I believe that was very similar. It was a very lengthy decision. I believe it was like over 300 pages. So now take that fact, the fact that it's going to be a very lengthy, thorough decision that needs to be issued. Now apply that to 3 high-profile cases like Miller, Duncan, and Rhodey. These are likely going to be very lengthy and very time-consuming decisions. Benitez tends to be very thorough. He's a very thorough judge, and he knows that these cases will end up being appealed. So he's going to take his time. He's going to shore up all the holes that he can. He's going to address all the historical evidence supported or put forward by the state of California. And that's what's probably taking him so long, in my opinion. I know some people think maybe, or they're speculating that maybe he's waiting to drop all of his opinions on the same day. And specifically, they're saying maybe it's going to be the 4th of July. I personally don't think that's the case. I don't think he's just holding these for a specific date. But with all this, I want you to keep in mind, just because he issues his ruling in these cases doesn't mean that this battle is over. What's likely going to happen is the state of California will immediately seek some sort of stay on any positive decision, and then they're likely going to seek an appeal up to the Ninth Circuit. So this is going to be a year-long process. It's going to be years. It's going to be a lengthy process. It's still got to go through the Ninth Circuit. What happens in between those time periods, what happens with his specific decision is yet to be seen. You can prepare the best you can, but to say that one specific thing is going to happen, that you will then get a Freedom Week or anything like that, nobody knows. That's just all speculation. So for everyone who's asking me what's going on with the California magazine ban case, the assault weapon ban case, the ammunition restriction, why Judge Benitez has not issued his decision as of date, that's my opinion. That's what I think is going on. But of course, if we get any more information, if we get any update on this issue, I will let you all know. Also, if you like this video and you would like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm, and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of 2A news. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.